Hi there on this Thursday morning. This is the time when I would normally share with you a thought for Thursday, and this week I would like to do something different. One of the things that we're able to do as ministers here is to sometimes visit the high schools and to have a few moments to speak with the students in their assembly, but of course we can't do that at the moment. So what we are allowed to do and what we have done is to send short videos in. For the students to watch, an opportunity just for us to share something with them. And this week it was my turn to speak with them, and their focus this week, conversations they've been having, have been around bullying. And I wanted to share with you part of what I shared with them, part of my story and my experience of being bullied as a child at school, but also what I learned from that about myself and about God and His love for me. So I'm going to share with you a bit of what I shared with them and talk to you a little bit more about that. When I was in the equivalent of P4 in primary school, for some reason, one of the boys in my class decided that I would become the target of his teasing and his bullying. And his circle of friends, which made up most of the boys in our class, decided to stand beside him in that, which left me feeling very lonely, very worthless. It made me not want to be there. And my response to that all was to miss school, to take time off of school, to pretend that I was sick so that I didn't have to go to school and go through everything that was waiting for me there. Because the impact of that was that when I did go back to school, I got teased even more for skipping school. And unfortunately, my teachers weren't even aware of what was going on, and so I would get into a lot of trouble from them because I was missing so much school, not realizing exactly what was happening behind the scenes. Now, it was hurtful, and whatever reason he had for doing that, whether he was, I don't know what his home life was like, I don't know what was happening behind the scenes that made him the kind of person who felt that he needed to find somebody to bully. And to be honest with you, it wouldn't have made any impact on me if I knew why, because it hurt and because it made me feel like nothing. And so knowing his reasons would have made any difference. So I don't want to tell you about any sort of background and make an excuse for his behavior. What I do want to tell you is how I felt and how I now feel about myself. At the time, I felt useless, worthless, rubbish, nothing. I hated going to school. I hated being around those people because of the way they made me feel. Sadly, what many of us know all too well is that bullying is not confined to schools, it's not confined just to children. Bullying continues into our adulthood, sometimes in the workplace, sometimes in our social circles or our sports clubs, maybe in our workplace, in our homes. Even sadly, we find bullying happening in the church as well. But what have I learnt from my experience of being bullied? What have I learnt about my relationship with God? I want to share with you that too. But I've learned something new about myself as I've grown up. And it took me well into my 20s to learn that. And it's this. It's something that we find in the Bible. In one of the Psalms, the psalmist says this. He says to God, he says, I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. He recognizes that he's so much more than what other people might tell him. I came to realize that I'm so much more than what others wanted me to feel like I was. Like that boy in my class wanted me to feel. That when God looks at me, God sees me as someone incredible and someone amazing. Fearfully and wonderfully made. When I think of those words, it always makes me think that I'm such an incredible person, it's quite scary. You are such an incredible person, it's quite scary. When God looks at you, He sees you as so much more than anybody else might want you to think or believe that you are. He sees you as incredible. The Bible tells us that Satan is the father of lies. And so that is where these lies come from that we so easily believe about ourselves. These lies that say that I'm worth nothing, that I'm deserving of everything negative that is spoken to me. But God says otherwise. Satan wants us to suffer. But the Bible tells us that God loved us so much that he sent his son, Jesus, who would suffer for us. God doesn't want us to suffer. He loves us so much that he's willing to suffer for us. So whatever you are being led to believe about yourself by the words and the actions of others, let me tell you this, it is a lie. If anybody makes you feel or believe that you are anything less than incredible and amazing, it is a lie. And I want to encourage you not to believe those lies anymore. I believed them for far too long. There is a God who loves you, who formed you, who created you, who sees you as absolutely incredible. Believe that, because that is the truth. Don't believe the lies anymore. Please remember that God loves you. And whatever it is that people are saying about you, whatever it is that people are doing that makes you feel hurt, that makes you physically hurt, don't let them ever convince you of the lie that they're trying to tell you. That you are of no value, that you are worthless. You are a precious child of God. He loves you. He would suffer for you. He has suffered for you. So hold on to that truth, that you are precious in the sight of our God. So take care of yourself. Look out for yourself. Speak with people if you need to speak with someone. Don't carry these burdens alone. God loves you. God bless you. Take care, and bye-bye.